I'm well aware that Hank Strange already released a video detailing how to strip and clean a SilencerCo Maxim 9. However, it was a little too long-winded and too advertisement heavy for my taste. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on my own example. I should be finishing my term paper right now, but oh fuck it, who cares? The first step in disassembling the pistol is going to be pushing in on this button here and holding it down. While you're holding it down, there's this little flap that you have to get your finger under, or this, I apologize, I simply don't have the word in my vocabulary for this. You're going to lift up on this part. It's going to lift free. The slide is going to come back. You can lift up and off. So now you have the slide with the bolt assembly, and you have the rest of the firearm. We're going to discuss cleaning the baffles in just a moment, but this is where you're going to want to go ahead and clean the slide as well as the parts you can access for the frame. And of course, don't be afraid to use a little too much lube, because it is going to get very, very dirty after firing ammunition through this particular design of handgun. And if you use a little bit extra lube, I find it to be a little easier to wipe away debris during the next cleaning. Okay, so now the slide and much of the frame has been coated in oil. Next, we're going to deal with the baffles. So with every Maxim, you have a baffle stack. It can be lengthened or shortened depending on user preference. The most important parts to accessing this baffle stack are going to be these screws right here. You're going to need a 5/30 seconds tool to unscrew. I wish I could get this on camera. To unscrew those screws and then pull them out once they're sufficiently loose. I always find it to be very good procedure to practice to leave the parts of the baffle stack in the order that they came off to prevent later confusion when attempting to reassemble the handgun. However, if you forget to do this, don't worry, I'm going to show you the correct reassembly process with regards to the baffles. I just want to mention, if you have and I apologize for my lack of proper vocabulary in this regard. If you have the screw on the end of the rod in the baffle stack and the screw comes off before the rod does, don't fret, just wrap it in something. You can use channel locks to pull it free, and that will work just fine. And there you go. That's the other rod. And that's the final piece of the baffle stack. So now this is what you've roughly ended up with at the end of your disassembly journey. Now, of course, you can go further than this. This is just your field strip. Each stack in the baffle is going to require just a little bit of cleaning. You'll notice that the baffles are going to be very heavy with carbon. Of course, this one looks very clean because, of course, I just cleaned it. What I personally do is clean off the baffles with solvent and then coat it with oil to make the next cleaning a little easier. Can't really see that part very well, but now that I'm looking at these individual parts, this should be much easier. There we go. So once all the baffles are clean, there's one final step, which is going to be cleaning out the barrel. The barrel, once you've removed the baffles, of course, is very simple to clean. You can just use a bore snake as you would with any other handgun. I do recommend, of course, that if you're going to bore snake the pistol, that you do so after you remove the baffles, because the bore snake can get hung up in the baffles. Excellent, nice and sparkly clean. So now that the cleaning has been, for the most part, fully completed, we're going to go ahead and begin with the reassembly of the baffle stacks. That locks in like that. Take your 5-30 seconds tool and tighten. So once your baffle stack is in and the rods have been placed back into the gun, go ahead, you're going to take the slide, you're going to line up these rails here on the frame with these, let's see if I can find it, there we go, these notches here into the slide. You're going to line them up, you're going to place the rails into those notches. The slide obviously is not going to go on completely, it's still going to be stuck halfway off like it was when we started the disassembly. So you're going to push those buttons in again, press down, whoops, get that, and your disassembly is complete.